What is up, guys? I am back with another video. Make sure you leave a like, comment and subscribe if you want to enter this video's hat raffle giveaway. And without further ado, I'm just going to go straight into this video as it's a follow-up from yesterday's video where we talk about AAR, or also known as Air, I think it is. Yeah, basically go check that out. He's been accused of some serious things, but last video we focused heavily on the person's side who made the accusations, but this time we're going to be focusing on AAR's response. So there's one thing that he's been accused of, and that's being paedophilic. There's actually, for me, when I'm looking at his response, if his response and his dates do all line up, if we go into the first thing, he says, my relationship with Carla started when I was 17 and she was 15, a 2-year age gap. And if we think back to if I think back to my school age, and I think back when people were in my school, I do think that 15 and 17 isn't paedophilic. It's not necessarily the best thing to happen, but I don't think that is paedophilic, and I am actually with him on that. A lot of people in my last video thought I was just bashing him, but really I was just concerned, as there's a lot of concerning, damning information out there about him. But he's addressed some of it, and I just want to go through that as well, and I'll link you also to his response so you guys can come and make your own conclusion about this. I don't want to take sides. I don't know if there's any manipulation from one side. They've got this other YouTuber who's used to be AAR's friend called Sin, and you know, it seems like they're in a big argument and disagreement during all this. So I don't know whether that's something to do with this. I don't know if this could be something more sinister in regards to someone setting him up. I'm not sure if that was something someone would even do, but we've got to look at every possibility. So Sin then brings up transphobic screenshots from February 2017. Yes, he did make some transphobic comments. I think at the time of this he was around 16, 17 years old. I think there's been a lot of people who have made comments like this in the past while they have been younger. And I think, although yes, it's really bad, I don't think it's a reflection necessarily of his true character. You know, I think people have always said something in the past that they regret. And obviously this has been recorded, and he's even said so in his response that he regrets this. And I do accept this. I understand when people are younger they make mistakes, they say things they don't mean, or they don't really understand what they're saying at the time, or how hurtful it can be. So I accept that. I understand that people make mistakes like this. I don't think, you know, someone should be cancelled over a transphobic comment they made long ago. But I also do think they should heavily reflect on that and sort of become a better person out of that and not do the same in the future. So, as we move even further on, he had a relationship with an individual named Max while he was 17 and Max was 14. Being friends for such a long time and not wanting to lose that, I begrudgingly played along with it most of the time. So he's saying here, while he was 17, he was in a relationship with a 14-year-old. Now, if I go back again to thinking to my school days, if someone was 17 going out with a 14-year-old, that is very sort of sketchy territory. Now, he says he's in a relationship. I don't know what that involves, but yeah, 17 to 14 is when sort of things start getting a bit strange. I wouldn't say this is paedophilic, but I wouldn't say this is normal behaviour either. Again, I want you guys to make your own opinions. Don't just go off what I think and what I say. I know people have different opinions everywhere, so make sure you do that. But me personally, I think that is starting to get in the territory where it's a bit weird. It's not paedophilic. Don't get me wrong, he's not doing anything paedophilic here, but he is definitely very, very close to some territory that is a very great area. AAR Sin and Sin have a lot of back and forth in this, which makes this hard to clearly understand what's actually going on here. AAR or Air says Sin's presentation contains a lot of fluff and speculation. So what does that mean? AAR here is basically saying, or Air, however you want to say it, is basically saying Sin's presentation is not 100% truths. It's got a lot of speculation and a lot of, guessing work in it, basically. So we don't actually know. He's saying it's not true, but from our perspective, we don't know whether it's true or not. This is one side versus another, so it's really hard to come to a conclusion here. AR understands this looks bad. He even says this in the response, which I will be reposting the response in the description, guys, so you can read it. So you can look back at yesterday's video, look at the slides, and then look at his response and come to your own conclusions. I want to make that very important, because I think that's what you should do. He understands that this looks really bad. It does look bad in a lot of ways, and I think you people who are diehard fans of his are just defending him blindly. I'm not saying that you shouldn't defend him if you think what he's saying is true and everything checks out and he's not harmed any younger people. I understand why you would defend him, but I just want you to take a second and think about why other people who are viewing this would take this seriously. So again, I'm going to say this, AR, when you look at this, has been engaging with youngsters, people younger than himself, on a regular basis, multiple occasions online. If people see this, they find that weird, but that's not necessarily being a paedophile. There are two different things. But then, coupled with that, he has a diaper fetish. He says it's non-sexual, but obviously that means that a lot of people from the outside are going to put these two claims together. And he's definitely had relationships with younger people, because he's said it twice. And he definitely has a diaper fetish. So, people are going to make that assumption and jump to that conclusion, whether you like it or not, because they are very, closely intertwined. Like, you could jump. It's not far-fetched to jump to that conclusion from that. So I don't think you can't blame people here for expecting the worst. And finally, I'm going to wrap up with AAR. This is what he says: I strongly encourage you to come to your own conclusion about this situation based on all information out there. And I do as well. So I want you guys to look at the Google Docs, look again at his response, which I will post in description below, and come to your own conclusion. I think if this is something Sin's done just to tarnish his reputation, and there is nothing sinister about AAR, then this is a very serious thing indeed, and must be horrible for his side if this is true. But also, you've got to understand, is Sin side's credible? Has he got a lot of credible information? And if so, maybe AAR should be put up to this pedestal and should be questioned like this. As we know, there's been multiple TF2 YouTubers just engaging in incorrect conduct online, and it's been disappointing to see. So make sure you leave in the comment section, guys, what you think about this. I want to know your opinions, and I will be replying. I will always be open to intellectual debate and discussion in the comment section, but I'm not gonna just receive hate or let you give someone else hate in the comment section below as well that doesn't really deserve it. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and I will see you next time.